Are you a digital product seller or want to become one? If so, you likely know how important it is to stay on top of current trends in the design world so that you can be creating products that are highly in demand. There are several digital product trends taking off currently, but I've compiled the top 5 that, in my opinion, are soaring to new heights and have the most potential for creating and selling profitable digital products. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The first design trend we're going to be talking about is daring fonts. There are 3 specific sort of subcategories here that are all included in this broad category of fonts that are really pushing the limits and trying some new things in the design world. The first type of daring font that's becoming more and more popular is using black letter or Gothic typography. These types of fonts are really nothing new. They've been around for a while, but they're definitely gaining some momentum and popularity in terms of what's in market demand for digital products. Then we've got hybrid fonts. These are relatively new to the scene, and these are font typefaces that are combining different styles of fonts, like blending serif, sans serif, and even some script handwritten fonts all together. These sort of hybrid fonts give a little bit of a rebellious vibe as they don't fit into what's been normally and traditionally thought of as specific different font categories. Blending them all together makes a really unique and fun look. And thirdly, under this category, we've got some fun organic shaped fonts, like typefaces that are wavy, bubbly, or even appearing liquefied. You're going to start to see these types of fonts more and more across the board with digital products, among social media designs, marketing materials, and even packaging and shipping designs. Now, before we move on to trend number 2, I want to let you know about a free gift I have for you just for hanging out with me here today. It's for all my digital product seller friends, or even if you're not a digital product seller yet, but you're looking into becoming one and wanting to make some profit from home selling digital products online, this is going to be so helpful for you. It's my free 45-minute long digital product masterclass called Digital Product Powerhouse. It's my free training that goes through the 4 crucial steps that you'll need to determine and go through as you're starting your digital products business to position it in the right way, figure out what digital product would be the best fit for you to sell, what design software you should use, where to source graphic elements from, file types, properties, resolution. It's really everything you need to know to get started and to feel confident in growing your digital products business. So I have that linked in the description box below in case you'd like to hop over and watch that when you get done watching this video. All right, moving on to our design trend number 2, which is grunge textures. If you've been around the design world for any length of time, you've likely heard of a specific design style called grunge. These are often gritty type textures that have an opposite aesthetic to something that's really more polished and refined. These sort of gritty, grungy textures are often paired with low contrast colors and black and white photography. These sort of grunge textures can be layered on top of a background surface, but can also be applied to things like text, elements, and even photographs. And just to give you a deeper look into how you might start using these sort of textures, I want to hop into one of my favorite design platforms, Kittl, and show you where I would start and what exactly I would do to begin to use these in my designs. All right, so here we are inside of the Kittl editor, and I've just applied a simple light colored blue background color here. And I want to show you how you could start adding these sort of grunge textures if you wanted to use it over a background color like this. So I would come over to the left and I'm going to look at the textures section. There's all kinds of awesome textures here in Kittl, everything from paper to plastic to concrete, grain, marble. But you can go up here and use the search bar to type in what you're thinking of. So I'm going to type in grunge and search for the term grunge inside of textures. And here I've got all these different types of gritty grunge textures that I can use. So let's say I like this one. I can just simply click to add that to my background. And now it's applied over my background color. And I can come over here to the right side to further edit this. So I can maybe bring down the opacity slider a little bit to make that grunge texture a little bit more see-through if I don't want it to be quite as dark and contrasting. And I can play around with that until I like the way that this looks. Now let's say instead of applying this just to a background color, I wanted to apply it to a background photo. I can either bring in my own photo that I want to use by uploading it to Kittl, or I can come down here to the images section and search photos for what I'm looking for. So grunge textures tend to pair well with black and white photography. So I might type in black and white and then something I'm looking for like flower. So here I've got several beautiful photos to choose from of different black and white images of flowers. Okay, I like this one, so I'm going to add this one to my artboard, make it a little larger and position it the way that I like it. Then I'm going to come back to my grunge textures here, choose the one I want, and I can see that that texture is now applied to my background photo. Again, I can come over and edit the opacity to make that texture a little bit more see-through or a little bit more dark. And then I might want to add some text to my design up here. So then I can come to my text option here on the left. I'm going to click to add a headline. Let's just say for this design, I want it to say 50% off sale. So now as far as having a grunge appearance within my text, I have two main options here. I can either change this font to one that's already inside Kittl that already has that grunge look built in. So I can come over to my text settings to search for the font I want. And again, I'm just going to use that search bar to type in grunge. And as I type that in, I can see some different fonts appearing that already have that sort of grunge texture applied. So I can try out a few of these until I find one that I really like. There are a lot of these that are super fun and have some really cool gritty textures to them. Now, another option if I don't find a font that I like that's already in Kittl is to sort of create my own grungy effect manually with a different font. So I can come here, add my text again, and I'm going to come over and choose a different font that's not already a grungy font, but it's something that is already a little bit bold so that I can see the texture on this pretty well. So you can see this doesn't have any sort of texture on it yet, but I'm going to come down to find my grunge textures again. And when I click to apply it, it automatically adds it to my background, which I don't want. I only want it on my text itself. I'm going to change this text color so you can see it a little bit better. So let's change this to this pink color so we can see how we've got this across both the text and the background. So now when I come over to my texture on the right side, I can select this little section that says clip content. If I toggle this on, then it changes it to only apply that texture to my text and not to the background. So this is a fun way to sort of do this more manually. If I'm not finding a specific font that's already grungy that I like, then I can use Kittl's clip content feature to apply a grunge effect to any font that I like. And lastly, another thing that I can find within Kittl are grunge graphic elements. So if I come here to the left side, I click on elements. They've got all kinds of fun shapes, icons, images on here. They've even got a section that already says grungy shapes. So I can look in that section to find all different kinds of fun things like a grungy circle, a paint splatter. There's just all kinds of fun textures in here. But I could also search for something specific. So I might type in the search grunge star if I'm looking specifically for a star element. And I've got all these kinds of fun stars with grungy textures already applied in different colors that I could use for my design. So there are just so many amazing features on Kittl that are so fun to play around with. I think that you might really enjoy it. So I've linked it in the description box below so you can try it out for free. And you can also enter the code HAZEYT. If you're a new user, that'll get you 25% off either your first month or your first year of any of their paid plans. So that applies to both their pro and expert plans, which is going to give you a great discount in case you decide you want to upgrade from the free plan to using one of those more robust plans. I can't wait to hear how you like it, and I'd like to thank Kittl for sponsoring this portion of today's video. All right, moving on to design trend number 3, and this is Art Deco. Again, Art Deco is nothing new to the design world. It's been around since the 20s, but currently it's continuing to rise in popularity, and graphic designers are using this across the board when it comes to social media posts, templates, marketing materials, website design. And I love this because it's so easily recognizable because of its use of geometric shapes that give a sense of sophistication and grandeur. A lot of people like to think of this style as Great Gatsby aesthetics. Now, trend number 4 is not quite as sophisticated, but is really playful and fun, and that is using mascot characters. This is a really whimsical trend where people aren't using the traditional human shape for characters, but they're using fun, playful icons and illustrations that are more abstract. There's no intricate details here, and mainly the use of only flat colors. Like I mentioned before, this gives a really fun, playful aesthetic and conveys a sense of approachability and inclusivity. Now, if you're wondering where to even start with this, Kittl has a really fun section of mascot characters that are ready to use to plug into your designs. You can simply go on Kittl, look at the element section and type in mascot, and you'll see all of the fun illustrations that are there for you. And trend number 5 is Swiss grid layouts. This is a minimalist design trend that uses a grid system to create orderly rows and columns. These block layouts pair well with sans serif fonts and simple, clean photography. In this trend, we're going to see a very structured, organized design that makes sense, which is opposite to another current trend of maximalism and brutalism that sort of embraces a sense of chaos. With this grid layout trend, we're going to see designs that are really visually balanced to communicate information clearly. Again, we're seeing limited use of colors here, mainly black and white paired with a couple of accent colors. Now, like I mentioned before, I love all of these trends and think that they all have so much potential for profitability when it comes to creating and selling digital products. So if you're interested in becoming a digital product seller and you need some guidance on how to start and grow a digital products business that actually brings in real income, then I want to remind you about my free Digital Product Powerhouse class that's linked in the description box below. I'd love for you to click over and watch that. It's 45 minutes, watch it on demand, and it's going to be super useful for you in getting started. And don't forget to also try out Kittl for free with the link in the description box below and use that code HAZEYT to grab that discount that I mentioned before. Happy creating, friends!